Hello learners, so I welcome all of you once again to another video of JJ Learning Center. I hope you enjoyed my previous videos. So in today's video we are going to learn the three basic functions and the three most commonly used functions in MS Excel, which are sum, sumif and sumifs. So let's begin with the sum function. So first let me go show you the raw data from which I am going to calculate. So there are four columns. First one is the agent ID. There are few agents. Then there is order ID, item description, and the duration of the call. So this is the sale item which they have sold this particular agent, and this is the duration of the call which the agent spent with the customer. So this is just a sample data which I prepared on my own. So now let's first practice the sum function. So with sum function, it is very common. It is self-explanatory that we need to do the sum. So how does sum works? Sum works only and only on the number values. So in our raw data, there is only one number value. So there are two number values. First is the order ID and second is the duration of the call. Definitely we are not going to take the sum of the order ID, because that will be a very huge number and it will not be we will not be able to get any output from it, because we will not be able to understand anything from it. So let's sum the duration of the call. So I'm going to write sum, then I'm going to raw data. Let me select the complete column and press enter. So the sum is 1353657. Now let me show you the same from the raw data. So when I'm going to select this complete column, the sum is giving me as 1353657. 1353657. I hope this is understandable now. Now let's start with the SumIf function. Now there is only one difference between sum and SumIf, though they both are going to do the same thing. They both are going to do the sum of the number values, but what is the difference between sum and sumif? So there is if attached with sum, and with if we means that there is some sort of condition or there is some sort of criteria. Now what's that criteria and how we can do the sum on based on that criteria? Let's see that. So first let me give you the description of SumIf. So it adds the cells specified by a given condition or criteria. Now what is that criteria? So now suppose I have few agents in my raw data and I have given them a particular target that at the end of the day I need to calculate the sum of the calls which were of the duration 200 seconds. So let's just take a random figure. So I need to calculate the sum of the duration of the calls which is of exact 200 seconds. Exact 200 seconds. So now there is one condition. We need to sum based on a condition, and what's that condition? That is 200 seconds. Now let's see how we can achieve the target. So I'm going to write SumIf. Now let's see the arguments first. So there are three arguments, out of which two are mandatory and one is optional. So range and criteria are the mandatory arguments and sum range is the optional argument. Now as I told you that we need to do the sum of the duration of the calls which are of exact 200 seconds. Now from where I am going to get that particular value? From this column D, because that contains the duration of the calls. So I'm going to select this, and range means that we need to select the complete range so that we can evaluate on that range. Now comma. Now what is my criteria? My condition is 200 seconds. So let me write 200 now. So the moment I will press enter, see what output it is giving me now. 3200. With 3200, it is identified that there are 16 calls which are taken of exact 200 seconds of duration. Let us check the same within the raw data. So I'm going to write 200 here. See, there are 16 calls which are of 200 seconds of duration and the sum is 3200. So that's why here we are getting the sum as 3200. I hope this is clear now. Now there is another function known as SumIfs. SumIf with an S. Now what is the difference between SumIf and SumIfs? The same way SumIf is working, SumIfs also work in the same way, but the only difference that SumIf works on a single condition and SumIfs work on multiple conditions. With multiple conditions, let me give you an example for that. So suppose from the list of 56 or 57 agents, there is one agent known as agent 1. So for agent 1, we need to calculate the total number of calls of duration 200 seconds. So what are the total sum of the calls which agent 1 has taken, and the calls have duration of 200 seconds. Now there are two conditions. So the condition 1 is agent 1 and the condition 2 is call duration of 200 seconds. So these are my two conditions. Now how I am going to satisfy both these conditions? We cannot do that with the help of SumIf because that is going to give me the complete sum of 200 seconds of duration, or it is going to give me sum for agent 1 only. Are you getting my point? So how we can achieve this target now? So for that we need to use SumIfs. So let's see the argument first. So the first argument is sum range. Now as the argument is self-explanatory, with sum range we means that the range in which the values exist from where we are going to do our calculation, and that column is column D. So column D is our range for sum range, comma, criteria 1. Now what does criteria 1 means? Criteria range 1. Now what does criteria range 1 means? So here, as I told you, that we have two criterias, condition 1 and condition 2. So condition 1 is agent 1 and condition 2 is call duration of 200 seconds. So with criteria range 1, it means that we need to select the complete range in which all the agent IDs exist. So SumIfs, this range, sum range, then this is my column where all the agent IDs exist, comma, now agent 1, as that is my first condition, now criteria range 2. Now what is criteria range 2? Second condition is to take the calls into consideration which are of exact 200 seconds of duration. So my criteria range 2 would be this, as the value of the calls is in this column. Now comma 200, as that is my condition. I need to satisfy that. Brackets, enter. 1600 is the result. Let's check how did we get this. So agent 1 200. See, there are 8 records where the duration of the call is 200, and that's why the sum is 1600. I hope this thing is clear to all of you now, but still if you face any difficulties, then you can comment your question with the raw data, or just only your question in the comment section, and I will try to reply on the same as soon as possible. So I hope you all enjoyed this today's session, and as I told you, if you have any doubts, then comment that in the comment section. So thank you once again for all your time and patience, learners. So goodbye, take care of yourself, and if you like the video, then do share, like and subscribe my channel and video. So goodbye, take care of yourself, learners.